I'm starting a series where I show you how you can build your loadouts better. Let's start with what type of guns you should be keeping in your loadout. I'm in a public server here so I can better explain to you guys what I'm about to say, but make sure you guys watch to the end because trust me, these tips are really going to help you build better loadouts and you're going to get a huge advantage. So the first thing you're going to want to do is there's a couple parts to your loadout. So the first is your long range. Now this generally will be a sniper or a semi-automatic. Generally sniper is going to be the most consistent at ranges. Wow, I was mid explanation, but it kind of works out though because he was using a sniper. So like, oh no, he's using the Dragunov. That's also a really good long range weapon. Your long range is going to be, what do you know, your long range. You don't need more than one of these in your loadout really. You just want it to be simple, consistent, and the wall is a pretty good option for that. What you're next going to want in your loadout is your medium range. This is a really important weapon I see a lot of people forget about. So generally what you're looking for here is either something that you tap fire with or something that's low recoil and you spray with. The LA is a great example of that. So you're going to see that you're going to be able to spray with it pretty far. I just got toasted, but that's actually a good point. So your medium range, it's going to cover you for, like I said, medium range, but you're going to lose to a sniper if you're playing in sniper range, of course. So you're generally going to want it to be low recoil. You want it to be consistent. That's why I like the LA generally. It's pretty solid. It's consistent. I feel like I hit my shots with it most of the time, this guy. There's other options, you know, like AK-47, I feel like is decent enough. Generally, you also want your medium range weapon to have a little bit more ammo, because you're going to be spraying it and you're going to miss a lot of your shots oftentimes, just because that's just how spraying works. You're also going to want to focus on the accuracy of the gun. You want it to have decent accuracy. You're also going to want to look at the damage range as well. You don't want the damage range to be too bad. But like I said, it's medium range, so you don't have to think about it too much. Next, this is a really important category. This is going to be your SMG or your just close range weapon. So I personally like to run 2 of these, because when you're in those close range scenarios, a lot of time I find that either I'm missing a lot of shots or I tend to spray a lot. When I'm holding a corner, I'll like kind of spray into it and hopefully they run into my bullets. So I like to run 2 of these so that, especially when I'm in those combat scenarios where I'm like getting pushed by 2 people or I don't have time to reload, I just swap to the second one. You can have 2 ARs rather than 2 SMGs. It's up to you if you're a little more passive. But personally, I find with the mix of a long range and a medium range, you're pretty set for ranged fights. So within your SMG close range category, you're kind of just focused on, do you feel you're consistent with it? You generally don't want it to be super slow. You don't want nothing that's gonna slow you down at those close range. I wouldn't go over maybe 12 ounce at the most, or 12. Personally, I like to keep it lower. I don't run any attachments on this. You don't really need range. You really just focus on, you consistent with it. Does it have a good time to kill close range? I find high fire rate guns often perform better at close range, because if you miss a bullet, it doesn't really matter as much as for a slow fire rate weapon. If you miss a bullet, the time to kill drops dramatically. As well, for your closer weapon, the recoil doesn't matter as much because you're going to be so close. Their shots are going to hit really a lot easier than if you were far range, of course. But oh, did I miss that? I did miss that. As you guys can see, I'm not the best sniper. That's part of the reason I rock the wall through. It has kind of a lower skill gap, I'd say, compared to other snipers. One thing I want to make sure you guys think about, though, before I go on to the next weapon category, is that in town, versatility is king, because you can run literally a limitless amount of weapons in your loadout. Literally, not literally limitless, but you have 100 pounds to work with. And if you're running, oh, by the way, if you guys feel like you learned something new, make sure you turn notifications on so you're instantly notified for upcoming videos I'm going to make about loadouts. So the next category I'm going to be talking about is the shotgun category. So generally I rock Remington here. You can rock Ikatha if you really wanted to, but I think shotguns that focus on just getting kind of a quick peek in a one-shot function a lot better than maybe something like the Spaz, where you kind of have to full send it and spam click. You can rock the UTS. I don't really recommend it though. Really, what the Remington does is it's kind of like a defensive gun. He just left the server. It's kind of a defensive gun, if that makes sense. I usually like to use it when I'm kind of holding an angle. I'm probably gonna get shot crossing, but yeah, I'm gonna. Every time I record a video, I realize just how bad I look at the game. So a spot I really like to use Remington is, like I said, when I'm holding an angle, like here. This is one of my favorite spots I say to use Remington, because I can just pop up, take the shot, pop up, take the shot. Because Remington one-shots, if you hit most of your shots in like kind of the torso range, it's pretty giving in where it one-shots to. So even with armor, it'll often just one-shot them, one-tap them. So it's a really powerful gun. I will say though, because it's got to cut that delay in between each shot, you kind of have to be careful. It's a really powerful defensive gun. You can hold an angle, someone can spray you, get multiple shots off on you first. But because the Remington will one-shot, they have no ability to react. So it's a really powerful gun, and I recommend you keep it in your loadouts. This is going to tie into my next one, your riot shield counter. So this isn't the best riot shield counter example. I'm going to be very honest. I have the Desert Eagle. But the reason I rock that is because I can use a riot shield against their riot shield with it. So the Eagle does pierce riot shields. Certain guns have the ability to pierce riot shields. Remington does. It's one of the guns that does pierce riot shields. It takes a couple of shots. But generally, you're just going to want a gun that pierces riot shields. You feel like it's consistent. You feel like it's good. I'm going to have a video coming out that goes over what guns, certain guns that are pretty good for piercing riot shields. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But generally, you're just going to need a gun that is clean, consistent, pierces riot shields. And honestly, I kind of also treat this as a crutch gun, but I don't use it too often. Next thing you're going to want in your loadout is, of course, the riot shield. This is very important. If you don't have the game pass, that's all right, but it really does help because it's kind of a cheesy weapon. Because really, you're taking a lot less damage, or you're just not getting shot at all when you're using the riot shield. You're not taking any damage. So it's really a very powerful crutch. I don't like to use it because it feels cheesy a lot of the times. I have it in my loadouts. I don't really like to use it because it's not that fun, in my opinion. But if you do want to get free kills and win free gunfights, you definitely want to keep the riot shield in your loadout. The next thing I'm going to mention is something that a lot of people don't know. So I have the bandage and the medkit. You want to have both. So the bandage is better if you're healing white HP where you've taken damage but you haven't broken any bones. But what the bandage doesn't do is heal broken bones. So that's where the medkit is going to come in. So essentially, what you want to do is use the medkit until your bones are healed. Then you're going to want to swap to the bandage. Or if your bones never broke, you're just going to go straight to the bandage. I also have the wrench in this loadout. Honestly, I don't use the wrench a whole lot. You really don't need it, but what you kind of can do, this really only works against players who are particularly sweaty. You can kind of bait them with audio cues, so you could like break the window, build it back, then maybe break it again, or just get the first break in the first place to try to tell them, hey, I'm over here, and then you can maybe move around the house and fake out where they think you're going to be, kind of use it for like flanks and whatnot. The last thing you're going to want to have in your loadout is armor. So I actually wasn't wearing armor this whole time, but you have two ways. You can either go with a spawn armor. I usually like to use SA Riot, like this, or you can do ballistics. So the one ballistics helmet and ballistics vest. So the one advantage that ballistics has over riot shield is that you're gonna have more torso HP. You're gonna have on this. You have 65, so it's an extra 15 HP. Is there a person back here? I think there is. But you have an extra 15 HP within your chest health. But you're gonna have to manually equip it each time, and you have to keep in consideration your weight. So people often will have a couple sets of armor here so that they can just swap off without having to spawn it back in. But that's just another thing you're gonna have to keep track of mid-gun. If you're like, dude, is my armor good? Do I gotta look through my inventory and equip it and whatnot? But again, you're getting that extra HP in the helmet and the chest area. So if I go back to riot shield or riot armor, you're getting 30 in the head. So that's a bonus 20 to the head and a bonus 15 to the chest area. So it's up to you if you want to take that. You're probably gonna have to consider your weight a lot more within your loadout, but it's definitely an option. So the other option that I feel is, I personally like to use, is this. So what you're able to do with this is you just press it, boom, it spawned in. There's a little trick though where you can instantly refresh your armor in literal seconds. And I'm gonna have a video linked in the description that you guys can watch after this one that teaches you guys how to do that. Very old video, very old trick, but trust me, it is insane. And that's why I like to run armor, because I'm able to instantly heal my armor mid gunfight with the press of a button. I don't have to worry about the weight, and I can simply just have the armor ready to go in my loadout. Again, I'm gonna have that in the description. So there you go, guys. That's how you should be building your loadouts. If you guys want more specifics about what guns are particularly good, in my opinion, to use in your loadouts, I'm gonna have that coming out very shortly, so make sure you subscribe with notifications on. If you have any questions you guys want to ask me about making a loadout, tell me in the comments below. Of course, I don't know everything, so if you guys have any good ideas about guns to use or something I could have done better or something I said wrong, make sure you guys tell me, because once again, I know stuff about talent, but you know, I'm not the best player at talent. I don't know every single thing. So if you guys have any ideas, any tips or whatnot I can change, make sure you guys tell me in the comments below. So further ado, thank you all for watching. Stay gooey. Peace.